Welcome to HomeFront Sitrep with Willis
and Megs. Don't forget about Blaze.
We're just a couple of veterans having a good time talking about what's on our minds.
And maybe yours.
You can find us on Apple, Amazon, or Spotify.
Or wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
Hello. Welcome to another live edition of HomeFront Sitrep. Just Megs here, doing on my back door. Willis had some other stuff they got to take care of tonight, but he's going to hop on if he can. Super excited about tonight. I even dusted off my old MP cap because tonight not only do we have Operation Odyssey outdoors, but also it's my understanding there's a 527 MP company reunion going on. So super excited to have these guys on. And without further ado, let's bring them to the stage. What's going on, guys?
What's going on?
How's it going out there?
Finish up a day of no deer.
Wonk wonk. So, who would like to kind of start us off, kind of who you are, and then tell us a little bit about Operation Odyssey, kind of where you came from, and also I definitely want to hear more about this 527 reunion because it sounds pretty awesome.
All right, I'll kick it off. My name is Derek Stevens. I'm the president of Operation Odyssey Outdoors, or O3 for short. Just a little bit about our organization. We're a veterans nonprofit based out of Grayson, Kentucky, and we just try to engage vets, get them out hunting, getting them out fishing, kayaking, just great outdoor activities. Our main focus is camaraderie, wellness, empowerment, all that stuff, just like all these other nonprofits. There's a lot of other nonprofits doing just the same sort of thing. We're just doing our flavor of it. And that's really about it.
So how did it kind of get founded? Can you tell us a little history of it?
Yeah, a little history of it. Well, it's probably about 3 years ago. I got out of service in 2009, and me and this fella right here, we served together. And he, after he got out and retired, he was involved in some other nonprofits and stuff, and he talked me into getting involved in what he was doing at the time, many years ago. Probably back in 2009, 2010 time frame. And so I finally went on a couple adventures with that nonprofit with Buck here, and really enjoyed the camaraderie piece. So that kind of planted the seed in my head. And I actually work with veterans every day. I'm actually a counselor that works with combat vets for a living. But we don't, O3, we don't provide any of that sort of stuff. It's kind of a separate thing. So anyway, I love to hunt, I love to fish, I love soldiers and veterans. Um, uh, Combat vets are just tender to my heart. They're near dear to me. So part of like the readjustment, the ongoing readjustment phase of just reintegrating back into living life to the fullest is, it goes pretty empty. And the premise behind this is just to attempt to restore that to the best of our ability by the camaraderie piece. You know, you're around people who enjoy outdoors, who enjoy similar things, who have a similar background, being in you know, Iraq, Afghanistan, you know, Vietnam, fill in the blank. But we do serve in all vets, as long as they're honorably discharged. So it just kind of started with the vision. It's like, you know, there's not a lot going on here in our area. And we have a lot of wonderful natural resources around here in Grayson. I got Grayson Lake and Cave Run Lake and Yatesville Lake, Greenbow, got the Ohio River. You know, we just that's just what we do.
You're doing a pretty awesome of answering all my questions before I even get to ask them, which is fine. So you serve all veterans, so it doesn't matter what era or anything like that.
No, absolutely. Yeah, correct. Yes. Yeah. All vets. As long as
Male
it's all
or
vets.
female?
Yeah, all vets. All
All
vets. Male, female, it doesn't matter. That's the only thing that we ask is you know, good discharge.
Right.
Just a good discharge. You know, we try to we invite and want to integrate all Gold Star families. They're just a much part of the family, that more so than even ourselves. I mean, so shout out to our Gold Star families. I mean, if you guys want to get involved, look us up, send us a
So,
message. Yeah, go ahead.
huge shout out to Gold Star families, absolutely. Now, what about families in general? Do you all ever do any type of family activities?
Yeah, we do. We got a youth hunt going on. I mean,
Oh.
so yeah, I mean, it's yeah, we got a youth hunt going on next week. And of course, all the slots are filled. You know, that's getting the vet and one of their kids out together. I mean, that's kind of, you know, building that bond. And also we do kayaking and stuff. We get a lot of families that come out, and we got some wonderful kayak floating areas around here and stuff. So
That's awesome. Yeah, because that's one of the things I know Willis and I are big on, because, you know, we both have families and stuff like that.
oh yeah,
And so, obviously, me as a female, it's one of those things sometimes I have to ask, and it's not
Ooh.
always female related, and
Right on.
sometimes they don't. Sometimes they exclude families, and so we always like to hear that people try to, and we understand that there's a certain place and time for all of those individually. But that's really awesome that y'all are doing that.
no, we really do try to integrate the families even at our events and stuff too. You know, we only have X number of slots, you know, to hunt. Well, we have a couple locations, but at this, you know, but yeah.
So near and dear to my heart, I keep seeing a little poocher come in every now and then. What about people with service dogs? For example, I have a service dog. Is that an issue?
Bring it. No, it's not an issue.
That's what she's in the
Yeah,
process of being.
Okay.
Bring it. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, that's one of those times where sometimes people are like, "Nope, we don't want to touch you with a 10-foot pole if you got a service
No,
dog." But
no,
That's part of you.
yeah, it's part of you. It's part of the recovery process too. You
Thank
know,
you.
it's part of that. It's very important.
All right. So who are the two knuckleheads you have on either side of you?
James Stevens, aka Jimmy, and Buck Parker.
All right. Who wants to come up next? Tell me, who are you? What's your background? And I
Want me to
heard a
go?
little bit.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm Buck Parker, served 22 years in the military, did active Army, Reserves, and National Guard. Been deployed, and I was deployed here with Derek, and been all around the world. The one thing I wanted to say about some of the questions you had there, one thing that separates us from so many other organizations, there's no one paid in our organization. Everybody is 100% voluntary. And that is in every aspect. We all volunteer our time. So any funds that come in, none of it goes to pay any staff.
So it's
Anyway.
literally going right back out into the project. So
Yes, ma'am.
100%.
that's amazing.
And some of the stuff that you mentioned earlier, one thing that we learned over the years through doing events and stuff, one of the best things that helped any veteran when them demons start calling, so many people sit in the house or sit on the couch. And getting back into nature really opens that up, even if you're not an avid fisherman or a hunter or like kayaking, but just coming out to the event, sticking your feet over by the fire, sitting around the fire, talking to your brothers and sisters really help break down a lot of them barriers, them roadblocks as people call them. And it just helps them live life together. And even people, when that stuff starts happening, you might not notice yourself, but when you're sitting there with somebody that's been through the same garbage, that has been to a few of the events, they're able to sit there and talk to you and see stuff that you can't see. And that's something that really separates us is because we really believe in, lack of a better word, is campfire therapy, living life together, becoming brothers and sisters, becoming a family,
Well, it's hard for me to
becoming
turn
that friend.
it's hard for me to turn my camera around right now, but just literally I got inspired by you all, so that's why I'm sitting on my back deck with a fire going. So, so I'm a firm believer in that as well. And recently, Willis and I did a little retreat for some of our listeners, and it was the same thing. Once we got it, like we had fun all day long. Don't get me wrong, but there was something special about that campfire therapy, 100%. So
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
awesome.
And then with the youth hunt, over the years of doing the youth hunt, this was our third year doing it with second one with 03, Operation Odyssey Outdoors. But even the kids, I mean, they go through life and they come back and your mom or dad is injured. They're not the same. So the kids have a lot of things they go through because they missed a year, 2 years, 3 years without one of their significant family members. Like my daughter was 7 before I made her third birthday, third Christmas, third Easter, third anything. And by going to the hunts, now she's around kids that are going through the same, I'll say, junk she's going through. And then like when she was invited to one of the birthday parties, which was 8 months later, it was as if they were still at the deer camp and everything just flowed right into it. I mean, it was like they've been best friends for a year. They get out there and we do a life-saving skills, survival classes, first aid classes, get them out in the woods, firearm safety, you name it. I mean, there's a lot of safety classes they do, a lot of field training they do. And it really helps the kids because they're around other kids that's going through the same stuff instead of just being at school around kids. Now they're with kids that are like them.
Right.
And they ride four-wheelers, side-by-sides, you name it, they're out there doing it. And they just become a little family.
That's
And
awesome.
that really helps a lot.
No, that's really cool because again, I think a lot of these kids go to school these days, and especially now, more time has passed. Like they're not dealing with all the same as it was right when everything started to kick off. It was a little bit more common to maybe deal with a parent that was away or something like that. But there's parents that have been gone, like you all that have been in 20 plus years, My 2 daughters were born right at the tail end of my career. I got injured, and otherwise I would have still been in. But so they didn't deal with it as much, but they are dealing with the repercussions thereof. Whether it be PTS, my brain injury, and I never had anxiety before, but now I do. Hypervigilance, things like that. So they are dealing with the repercussions after the fact, not as much as the going away. And I think it's one of those things that's tricky. So the going away absolutely stinks, and I'm not taking anything away from that. But it's also tricky when you don't have something else to like point a finger at, and to be able to have a place where you're like, does your mom do this or does your dad do this? Because like, what the fuck,
Right.
like everything was fine, and it's like a switch goes off. What is that? You know, so that's really awesome that you guys provide that for the kiddos and that they have a safe place to do that. So
And now I'll pass it over to Jimmy.
I'm
do you
James
crack
Stevens.
corn?
What's that?
I said, do you crack corn?
Sometimes.
He doesn't care.
That's my dad joke for the night. All right.
When I was growing up, my uncle always sung that song to me, so I'm pretty familiar with it.
There you go.
Well, I'm James Stevens. This where we're at is where I live. The local farmers around that connects to our farm help provide the property for veterans to come and hit the reset button. As Derek said, we've got a lot of lakes around, and I go through and resource local resources to get us out on the kayaks or get us families out on pontoons, all that kind of stuff. During the holidays, I take in food to try to provide meals for the needy families or families in need that need them. They just let us know that prove that they're honorably discharged and how many's in their family, and we provide Thanksgiving and Christmas meals. Any food that's left over, we use it for the same reason. If family shows up that's in need, then we just load up a box and get it to them.
Basically do a food drive every year, you know, and we have good sponsors like Smithfield ham factory here in Grayson. They're really generous. They're giving back to the veteran community. TNT,
They're one of my favorite bacons, Smithfield.
Then the local American Legion, they do a food drive for us where everybody comes in. They got a box set up where they just start setting stuff. The auxiliary, they fix stuff. We've got a couple local veterans that do the homestead thing, and they're part of that Kentucky Proud program, and they provide food that's grown right here locally on the farms that's all FDA approved or USDA approved. And we just try to continue to give back to the veteran community here in the Grayson, Carter County area. For me and Derek, Buck lives out around Lawrenceburg, travels between there and Florida, and he's giving back to those two communities. And then I do a lot of networking with other organizations. If we can't fill slots, then I'll reach out to other veteran nonprofits to see if they've got anybody that they know that could use this reset. They reach out to us. We've got a Go Ship down at Key West, Florida. We've got one of our team leaders. He's
Sign
down
me
there
up.
on what's that?
I said, sign me up. Key West is one of my favorite places. in the
They
world.
actually have a female event, strictly a female boat event that happens a couple times a year.
Okay, well, you got my number, Jimmy. I need to know about that ASAP.
Okay.
You probably lost it.
We you know, we're just we have no ties with them other than just the networking. But they do several trips a year for veterans. Got Camp Brown Bear, got Lawrenceburg. They're wanting to network with us to do some programs. Who else have we? What's the one in
Kentucky Wounded Heroes.
Kentucky Wounded Heroes? We teamed up with last year to help do this youth hunt.
Tin Can and Outdoor Valor down in Florida. They take us, Outdoor Valor takes us offshore fishing 2 days for the group that I bring down for the flats fishing, offshore fishing, and all day airboat riding. It's an 8-day event. And then Tin Can, we help them out from time to time with either four-wheelers or side-by-sides when they do their youth hunt up here. It's in Jackson County over where we do another hunt for veterans that's over around the Berea area, so they don't have to drive 4 hours over this way. And at the same time, they'll assist me when I'm down there if I need anything.
That's awesome. So again, you talk about networking, and that was one of the reasons that Willis and I really wanted to do this podcast. Is we both have been a part of a bunch of different veteran service organizations, and I kind of use the saying, sometimes they get too big for their britches and they forget what it's really about. It's about the veteran and their families and things like that. So we really wanted to use this podcast as a place to network or be a hub for networking of different places. And I love that you're doing the same, because I think it's important that organizations realize that it's okay that they can't do everything themselves. And if, when I was a part of an organization, if I couldn't do it with my organization, I did the best I could to find an organization that I could, because I didn't want to leave that veteran alone.
Right.
So like I like to say, one veteran at a time. Willis and I say it all the time, one veteran at a time, and we got your six. Like we're not, if you reach out to us, we're going to do our best to network you with whoever we can. And I love that you guys are doing the same thing. So, Jimmy, one thing I didn't hear is how did you get involved with O3?
Well,
Hey, you.
Was he voluntold or?
Well, it was kind of funny. I'd been out of the military for 10, 12 years, and I got invited to run a Facebook page called Kentucky Vets. And it's basically just a newspaper for organizations to share what they've got going on, or veterans to say whatever they want to say. As long as it was respectful, they was allowed to post it. There wasn't no slander or anything like that going on. And then through me doing that, I met up with a guy named Ricky Allen down in around Somerset that had a nonprofit called Big South Fork Veteran Hunt, and invited him to bring a group of guys up here to do some coyote hunting to help eliminate them from our farm. And me and him got to be buddies. And then I just started working with him to make an event. I would take care of everything. The only thing he did was pulled his equipment up here and brought the veterans in. And it was, I just went to the shadows because that was my choice. He said I could run an event if I wanted. And I was like, nope, that's your baby. And then I got hurt and couldn't do it no more. Some other volunteers couldn't help him no more, and sadly they had to close up shop. But that was where I was getting my experience from. And then me and Derek got to be pretty good buddies, and we was talking one day, and he invited me to help start the organization. And through helping network for Ricky and Big South Fork Veteran Hunt and the Kentucky Vets page, I had a lot of contacts throughout the state already, all the way plumb out to Bowling Green. And so I was bringing a lot of that networking to the table of a lot of just random different mission statement organizations. Some were food, some were homeless, some, just did all different kinds of things. It wasn't just outdoorsy. And so he invited me, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So here we are. Yeah, going on 3 years.
This is the third year.
And then I guess it was last year, we had got all of our hunting dates in, and I posted them on our Facebook group, and a couple guys that I was in Iraq with contacted me saying, hey, I'm interested in doing one of your hunts. And, 3 or 4 of them got a hold of me, and I was like, the light kicked off, and I was like, we'll just do our own hunt just for us. And it went off really good last year, and some of them was like, man, we ought to do this more. So now it's the second annual 527 MP Company Veteran Hunt. And so anybody that was with us over in Iraq, we get a hold of. We've got our own little Facebook page for that group of people that went over at that time, and we posted on there. And anybody that wants to show up to it, then they're more than welcome. This year we had a well, this year and last year. Two of them drove in from Texas, one from Tennessee, and one from West Virginia. Last year we had an additional one that came in from Georgia. And as long as good Lord willing and the creek don't rise, then we'll continue doing this every year.
That's really awesome. So going back to like '03 a little bit, now you've mentioned a lot of great events. Now, if somebody wants to figure out what kind of events you're up to, what's kind of the best way to figure out how do I get involved with them? Is there a donation page? Is there an events page? That kind of what's some of the nitty gritties that we can get out there for you all?
Really just follow us on Facebook for now. We had a little bit of logistical issues in the background. We are a nonprofit, but we're switching from a C19 to a C3.
Mm-hmm.
That way donations are easier done. There was just so many restrictions and stuff that came with being a veteran nonprofit through the IRS's eyes that we're actually in the process of switching over to being a C3. So everything's more readily available for everybody. Everybody knows what a C3 is. They don't always know what a C19 is. So really, if they want to get a hold of us, they can just reach out to us direct. We'll share our phone numbers with anybody.
Speaking of Facebook, we've got James Thornton on. He is a veteran who was part of the Mogadishu Mile. He actually served over there with 10th Mountain, and as you know, they just had their 30th. I don't like calling it an anniversary, but I guess it is. It's just because that was that was a hard time. But James Thornton also does a lot of volunteer work with Warrior Rounds, and it's a great organization that kind of partners up veterans with singer-songwriters and things like that to be able to write. Like the singer-songwriter comes up with that veteran and makes a song out of their personal story. So that's kind of interesting. So
have him reach out to me directly. I'm kind of into that sort of thing too.
that'd be awesome. So
Yeah.
how does somebody find you on Facebook? What's the best? What's the exact verbiage that they should search for? I guess is kind of what I'm looking for.
Operation Odyssey Outdoors.
Okay. And I
And it'll
believe
say
you have
Operation Odyssey Outdoors 03.
I was about to say, I think you kind of have like a stag head or something as your profile picture. Okay.
Yep, with an American flag in the background.
Yep. Okay. So that way they know that that they
you
got
know,
that one.
And anybody can bring something to the table. If they've got an idea for an event they want to do or whatever, we'll do our best to support that event. Somebody might have a good idea, but not have the means to do it. And we'll do our best to step up and provide the means to do it. It just all falls back to that thing that we was all taught: one team, one fight.
Awesome. So I love the fact that you've been able to use this platform to be able to reconnect with some of your MP buddies. I also was a military police officer. A little background about me: I was trained as more of a combat support MP, but then I got plucked from my unit and had to go to Guantanamo, which that place can kiss my ass. God bless anyone that did corrections, but it's not my thing. But that being said, I'd like to kind of transition over. How's it been going with the reunion? Because I've missed my MP buddies. Because I literally got out of being an MP and transitioned into the Coast Guard because I said fuck corrections. So, but I missed my combat MP buddies. So, how's it going down there?
It's like we've never missed a step.
Yeah.
We was over there. I mean, you're with these people so much. I mean, if they come walking at you in the dark, you know their silhouette, you know who it is. And it's, things like that gets ingrained to you that, you come up to give each other hugs, and it's just, you pick up where you left off.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was an MP, and I've been through all areas of the MP, from field to garrison to training to whatever, then switched over to combat engineers. But what I just heard you say when you switched services, and I was reading between the lines, is you got tired of eating MREs and decided to eat steak and lobster on the weekend.
Well, actually, I'm allergic to shellfish. But no, it was no. Actually, we had the Air Force. Well, not the camp I was at, but the main camp had the Air Force doing the food, so it wasn't horrific. But no, I was just tired of kicking cages and being stuck with a place where I couldn't go pew pew back. So when I went to the Coast Guard, I did port security, and we were the most heavily armed kind of unit in the Coast Guard. So I did small boats where we had two 240 Bravos on the back, 50 cal. Each one of us had M4s, and also carried our SIG pistols. So
That's what a buddy of mine does. Now he's a chief
yeah,
warrant officer.
so yeah. So no, I just didn't want to kick cages anymore. Like I said, I felt like I was a prisoner myself in that whole situation. So
That's what
I'd rather-
Jimmy did.
well, God bless you, because nope.
He did
not
it
for me.
through the federal system, though. He did it through the Federal Bureau of Prisons.
Yeah, don't care. Don't care. God bless you. Nope.
So did he.
Oh, yeah, so did I. I forgot that.
No, I was on a 25-foot Boston whaler open cabin. Just even though I did it from Virginia Beach all the way up to Cape Cod, different stations I was at, freaking cold as hell. It was worth it. It was
Still
worth the
eating
transition.
fish and steak on the weekend.
Yeah, and it was pretty damn good fish. I would eat the fish. It was pretty tasty. James Thornton said we had Daisy Red Riders and hand grenades. So, but yeah. So how many MP guys you got down there? How many were you able to collect for this reunion?
There's 4 that came up, and one of our volunteers just so happened he brought somebody with him that was volunteering, and he was an MP too. But they're down at the house that we all stay in. The volunteers are.
So, is anyone hanging around now? Anyone want to hop on and see what's going on?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. There's 3 of them here.
All right.
4. Or 4. Oh, yeah, you got to sit back down.
There's 3 MPs and our mechanic that was with us.
Oh, you gotta love the mechanics.
Here, let me get out of your way. I'll let.
Did they at least keep the seat warm for you guys? I'm sure Jimmy probably farted in one.
Oh,
But
more than once.
Hey, Megs, go ahead
Did
and
you see
play
that
the
fireproof
talent.
foot back there?
hang on just a second. All right, so what we're going to do is while you transition, we're going to go ahead and, as they say, kind of pay the bills here a little bit. We've got a great sponsorship with Talents. So just give us about 2 minutes and we'll hop back on, okay?
Okay.
Owner of Talents here, and I just want to say that we are ecstatic to be a major sponsor of HomeFront Sitrep, a community that is ran by veterans and made for veterans. So thank you for tuning in. Talents was formed in order to create a music scene that was together in the form of a collective, so that no one has to do everything on their own. And guess what? We've been doing this for free for over a year. So please go and check out Talents through Facebook or through our official website at www.talenttalents.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you again for tuning in to HomeFront Sitrep, a veteran-owned and operated podcast just for you.
I thought, oh my gosh, that's good as
All right, and we're back on. So let me just give a shout out to Talents. They're the ones that did our intro and our outro. Amazing company that does all types of sponsorship promotions and things like that. So big thanks to them. I think they've done a pretty badass job helping us out. So if you all need anything, 03 or anything like that, or any of you guys back home, reach out to them. It's a great organization. So now we got the MP crew that's all traveled from wherever, however far long, made the journey. All right, who's on the hot seat? Oh, did somebody get that license plate on that bus? Just got ran over.
Hammerhead.
All right.
I'm not an MP, but I mean, I fixed all their
Then you're
shit.
definitely going first. Then you're definitely going first.
Well, I fixed all their shit, and they tore up all kinds of shit.
Well, but then you still fixed it, so we appreciate you.
we
Damn
kept you employed.
Yeah, gainfully employed.
All right, so give us a little shout out. What's your name? You know, kind of get a little bit of background. How'd you get stuck with these guys?
I'm Michael Rhodes. I went into the military at 17 years old in August of 2000. And then once I went through AIT and wrecker school and all that stuff, I got sent to Gießen, Germany, and the 527th. And when I got there, the unit was in Kosovo. And I basically stayed in the rear D until they got back from Kosovo. And then when they got back from Kosovo, I met a lot of them. The guy from Georgia that was here last year that's not here, he was in the unit already whenever I got there. And then about 3 or 4 months later, James Stevens got to the unit. And then these guys showed up a little bit later, and it was all fun and games, and then we all deployed, and then shit got real. But we all stayed in touch through Facebook and all that stuff over the last 20 years, and it's been fun.
That's awesome. Well, James Thornton said he said the last time he was around that many MPs, they were all in a lot of trouble. So,
I know what that's like.
so how's it been going down there for you?
Oh, good. Just hanging out in the woods and living the dream.
What would you say is your favorite part about it all?
Well, I mean, I do this all this kind of stuff all the time. I just like being in the woods, and the fact that I get to hang out with these guys again after 20 years is really badass. I mean, we all went through hell together, and we're all here to talk about it. So that's a blessing, really.
And where'd you come in from?
I came from Texas.
So you came all the way from Texas to hang out with these guys. That's awesome.
Yeah, I drove 20 hours.
You drove?
Uh-huh.
Well, God bless you. Wow,
Thank
that's
you.
awesome. So that's awesome. That actually speaks like magnitudes about how special this place must be, and being able to get with everybody to drive 20 hours to do this. That's awesome.
For sure. Yeah, we did it last year too. It's
Very cool.
It's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Good deal. Who's next on the firing line?
My name is William Thompson. I joined the 527 back in 2003, right before we deployed. Actually, the end of 2002, and then deployed twice with them. After that went to West Point. After that went to Fort Stewart. Got injured and got out. James contacted me about this organization that he had, and it's kind of hard to get me out of the house. Took him a couple of years, and then I finally came up with the idea as well. It makes it easier when you have people that you've deployed with, that you served with. So the idea got sparked, got a couple people involved, and made it happen. And this is unbelievable.
And where'd you come in from?
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Nice. So, I mean, I can understand that whole struggling to get out, and it's pretty awesome to be able to not only find an organization that you feel comfortable with, but to be able to do it with like literally your band of brothers is pretty awesome. So, is this your first year doing it?
Second year.
Second year. Awesome. Very cool. And what would you say, other than some of the camaraderie and stuff like that, what are some of the other things that you feel like you really get from it?
It's honestly just the reset, just the clear your mind. I equate this to riding a motorcycle.
Okay.
When you ride a motorcycle, you have to be, your hypervigilance kind of kicks in, and you have to pay attention to your complete surroundings. The same thing here. You're listening to every noise, every movement you see, and it just, because of what we've gone through, it's second nature. So you don't have to like tell yourself, no, don't think like this. You can just completely relax your mind, do what comes natural, and just reset yourself. It just feels amazing.
Almost like hypervigilance in a good way for once.
Yeah, really, it is.
Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Who do we got next to you?
Hello, my name is Bob Goulash. First want to say, first time guest or listener. Appreciate what y'all are doing.
Appreciate having you on.
I served with these knuckleheads back in 2003, deployed with them. Jake sent something on Facebook inviting us last year, so this is my second year. I rode with Hammerhead. Actually not too far from each other in Texas, so that's how I got up here.
All right. And so this is your second year in I missed it. Did you say where you came from this
Yes,
time?
man. Texas.
Texas.
I
So
rode
you
with him
did
here.
you rode with him? Okay. How was
Yeah.
that? Was that okay? I mean, I don't know.
It was good company. Just talked about how messed up this world is and this administration. Time goes by fast.
Trump
when you got a lot-
2024.
when you got a lot to talk about.
But at least if the truck broke down, you know you guys were okay, right? So
Exactly.
well, that's awesome. So all right, who we got next?
I am Sean Monroe from West Virginia, and this is my first year come to the event. So we actually had a main reunion this year earlier in June, and that's when I got up with James, and he invited me out here this year.
Nice. What part of West Virginia? I gotta ask.
Central West Virginia.
Oh, because my family's from my grandmother's side's from West Virginia, so just curious. So she was White Sulphur area. So
I'm a
and
little
then I got,
further north.
and then I got some family in Hurricane. So, but very cool. So what do you kind of get out of this? So this is your first time here. How has it been?
Been pretty good. Talking with the guys. We haven't had
Don't
any.
bullshit a bullshitter. If it's fucked up, let me know. No. I'm
All right. No, that's what we do. We give each other a hard time, but that's what makes us close, you know.
I mean, if you all do circle jerk snaking around the bonfire, feel free to let it out. This is,
What happens in Iraq stays in Iraq.
You're blessing.
You ain't in Iraq no more, my friend. Thank God.
You know, we've probably all stirred each other's shit at one time or another, but
Yeah.
but it's definitely.
Hey, sometimes you gotta stay warm at night. Just saying.
Yeah. So, but what I get out of it is just getting out of the house and away from home and doing things I love, fishing, hunting, stuff like that. And I'm only 3.5 hours away, so it was
well,
not
that
quite
makes,
a 20-hour drive, but it was a nice, relaxing drive up here.
yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, what do you guys? How long have you been down there? How long are you gonna be down there?
Y'all right here
We got
before
up
us.
here Thursday evening, and we'll go through Sunday night, Monday morning, probably.
So that's a good little chunk of time. And what do you guys?
Got to make 20 hours worth of it.
That's true too. That's true too. What are you guys hunting? I'm clueless as to what season it is or
Deer,
whatever.
we bow hunt.
White-tail buck deer.
And turkey.
And turkey.
And turkey. Eat rifles, bows, what?
Bows,
Bows.
crossbows, and compounds.
I'm a little
I'm
ignorant as to how
stabbing
that.
with a knife.
How is it that they get that close? Because how far can you actually shoot a bow? Like that's where I'm like,
A crossbow, you can shoot 150, 200 yards if you're pretty good.
Well, if you're real bad, use a regular compound bow or a recurve.
Yeah, 50 yards.
Yeah, typically, here 40, 50 yards. It's tough. It's challenging.
all right. So the next thing I gotta ask is how's the food?
Amazing. You get a bunch of rednecks together, they know how to cook some damn food.
That's what I was hoping to hear, but you never know.
Yeah, no, it is never
We're
bad.
eating good. We're eating good. That's for sure.
If you starve, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So is this something you guys are hoping to keep doing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you invite an MP from another company sometime?
That depends on who.
It has under consideration, but we can deliberate about it.
Okay. Maybe vote.
That's it.
Huh.
That's it.
So is it usually this time of year, or what? Is it
What
usually
was
around
the
the
question?
same time?
Anytime between now and probably Thanksgiving, probably be our target area.
Yeah, the date will always kind of change depending on the group of people, and we talk and figure out what dates are good for people. Everybody throws some ideas out there, and then it's just a group consensus on when the date will be.
So how many have you all had down there at one time? Like your group, like specifically, like how many have you been able to reconnect with?
This is the biggest five. It's the biggest.
Yeah. Well, it's been 5 both years.
Is it?
Oh, it's Hooker, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
uh,
Sorry.
This is
Got it.
Monroe's first or Sean's first year, but there was a guy here last year that wasn't able to make it this year.
So it's 5 each time, yeah.
Yeah. So no hooker this time.
No Hooker.
No Hooker this time.
Unfortunately not.
Y'all missed it before the show. They were talking about, missing a hooker, and I said, I'm sorry I wasn't available. But, and then I realized that they were talking about a person.
But,
But,
hey, you should say his first name so you don't get that mistake.
Hey man, I've always called him Hooker.
We all know him as Hooker. Yeah,
it's all good. By the way, I'm not for hire. But anyways. Yeah, so James Thornton says he goes down for the whole month of January in Georgia hunting hogs.
Nice.
Oh hell, you come do that in Texas. I got all kind of places to do that.
I was going to say, don't y'all even do like the helicopter hog hunting?
Yes, we
type of
do.
stuff? Now that seems pretty badass.
I think it's called Heli
It
Bacon.
is.
Yeah,
Heli Bacon, yeah.
that's very cool.
And
Well,
very
also-
expensive.
Well, that's what. Yeah. So there's no way I know I'd be able to afford it, but I definitely hopefully could find some place to sponsor it. Then I'd be game. So, but well, I truly appreciate you all coming on and exposing yourself a little bit,
Not a problem.
but not too
The least I
much.
can do. Yeah, appreciate it. Before I get off of here, I really want to give these guys a shout out. They bust their butts, and again, it's all volunteers. They take care of us. They feed us. Like I said, we wouldn't drive 20 hours, 2 years in a row if it wasn't worth it for us. So
Absolutely.
this organization is good, and I appreciate what you do and all the veterans out there too, man. They hold near and dear to my heart. So thank y'all.
Yeah, and I really challenge all of you all to hopefully check out Willis and I on our HomeFront Sitrep podcast. Because not only do we do live like this, but we also put it on Amazon, Spotify, pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast as well. And we also challenge anybody that if they have an issue, to reach out to us because we've talked to people all across the United States. So if you all know of an organization in Texas that's worthy, please refer them to us and give them a shout out. I know we've got coming up soon an organization in Missouri that is taking service dogs to a new level of making sure that they are legit service dogs and things like that. So, yeah, if you guys have anything to add or anything like that, I really appreciate you all coming out and taking the time to share what's really going down and telling us that it's not a total circle jerk. Not that I thought it was, but again, if you do that off camera, that's on you. But But yeah, if you have anything else to add, I'd love to hear it. If not, I'd love to get the O3 guys on one more time and kind of close up if that's good with you guys.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Let's
Thank you
go,
very much.
Brandon.
Thank you guys. Appreciate you.
I think this guy's over. Hell no.
You have to excuse him. His makeup's a little smeared now.
Oh, okay, that's all right. We'll go in with blush later. We'll edit it. It'll be all right. So, hey, guys, it's one of those things, like I was joking with them. You can't bullshit a bullshitter, and those guys seem really authentic and genuine. What you're doing out there sounds like. And I know that's your crew, but to be able to provide that for your old crew and stuff like that is amazing. But they'll be the first ones to call you out. So, and they did, and they couldn't speak highly enough of you all. So, just want to thank you again, Jimmy, for the time that we kind of chit-chatted and texted and stuff like that. And we just love to ask you if there's anything else you'd like to add. But
I would like to thank all of our sponsors that actually makes this happen.
absolutely.
We've got a guy that helps us with all the coffee. Black Rifle Coffee takes care of all the vets that come here. Send us, if we need more coffee, I just make a phone call and the guy's like, how much you need? They really support vets big time. Smithfield Hams in Grayson, Kentucky. When it comes to these holiday meals, they provide all the hams for all of it. I just run down to town and sign a piece of paper and they shove them out the door to me. We've got a lot of local places, outdoor places, TNT Outdoors. They rent kayaks and they provide all the kayaks for us to make it possible to do all the kayak trips. A local feed store, Sexton Brothers, they give us lots of corn to put out here in these feeders. Southern States, they provide seed. for the food plots. Local electric shop, Fifth Street Electric, they donate. Borders Outdoors in Ashland, Kentucky.
Mike's Archery.
Mike's Archery in Ironton. We've got a local veteran group that the way their rules read, it has to be a Carter County veteran, and anything we do that provides a service to a Carter County veteran, we get a hold of them and they'll throw some money at it. Like we sent a Carter County veteran down to that fishing trip and they took care of it for that Carter County veteran. The Grayson Lake Corps of Engineers, anytime we have an event down at the lake, they send a boat out to support us to make sure that we have all the safety stuff that we need in case in case something does happen, they've got all the quick ways to get people medevaced or whatever, and they come out for hours on end to help
That's
us.
impressive.
Who else we got? Who is it you work for?
Big Ann's Barbecue and Crawfish, baby.
Ask him to get the marbles out of his mouth and say it again.
Oh, Big Ann's Barbecue and Crawfish.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Was it Katy, Texas?
Yep.
Last year, Toby Keith donated to us.
We do a big one of our biggest fundraisers right now is it's a bass tournament here at Grayson Lake, and we get sponsors, basically donors to sponsor the places. So like, first through fifth place or first through fourth place, plus the biggest fish. And then, the entry fee, which it's $100 entry fee, just a typical bass tournament, two anglers per boat. And it's an 8-hour tournament we do every spring. So gosh, we've had several to donate, sponsor, Bond, Josh Bond. I mean, so a lot of local businesses or local people volunteer will actually just donate the money for those placements. And, we push about 32 boats. It's not very big. Grayson's not a very big lake, but it's just a way that the community, I'm in big with a lot of the local anglers at Grayson. I've always kind of been a part of part of that group. So it's a way that we can give back to them, and then therefore they give back to us too. And it just, we really like to give back, at least provide a way for people in the community to serve veterans. I get that asked a lot. Well, how can we help? It's like, well, come and sponsor an event, volunteer, that sort of stuff.
I love when I see a community kind of come together, and then the community, then who they help out can in turn help the community back as well. It's a good partnership. That's really awesome. So just real quick, James Thornton threw it out there. He wants you to, feel free to check him out. He runs the Warrior Rounds trailer as well. There's another way to look him up on Facebook. But he's been commenting on this. So later on, when you go on Facebook, you'll be able to see him on there. But James Thornton, definitely reach out to him about Warrior Rounds and some of his stuff and his trailer and what he's doing for Warrior Rounds. It's pretty awesome. So. Well, I really, really appreciate you guys. I'm definitely jealous. My fire is probably nothing compared to what you all have been able to do down there and stuff like that. But I also am jealous. I've got me and my service dog right now. It's just us. But the camaraderie ship that you all are providing is leaps and bounds. I know I've been very fortunate to be able to go to some events and have that connection. So I love that you guys are doing that and paying it forward.
I would like to, as far as what we have to say, I'd like to end it with just thanking the good Lord above. He's the one that provides all this. And, if it wasn't for him, none of this would happen. We just try to be his tool, and keep paying it forward.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you guys so much. And again, we'll go ahead and we'll put some of your information in some of the comments and stuff. Make sure that they've got the right Facebook page link. And again, thank you guys so much for coming on and hopping on live. And it's been awesome time. Hope you've had a good time too. So
I'll jump on here as soon as this is over, and I'll share our link in the comments for the video.
perfect. That'll make it even easier. So. All right, guys. Well, you all have a great rest of your time, and hopefully your luck turns around and you get a little something before you head out.
Yeah, we need some back straps. We'll get some tomorrow.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right,
Thanks
well,
for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great night.
All right, see ya.
All right, bye-bye. Wow, that was cool. Like, I'm definitely jealous. Like I said, I did the best I could to be out here and have my little fire. But no, MPs are a unique group. That's why I especially felt comfortable kind of messing with them all. But really sounds like a really great organization, really good group. Not just if you're an MP, but I love how they're doing stuff for families and Gold Star families. Sometimes they don't get enough support that they really need. So huge shout out to Operation Odyssey Outdoors, aka O3, and really happy for you, the 527 MP company that made it out, made it home, and you guys are able to hang out together. So with that being said, just want to say thanks for tuning in. And as Willis and I say all the time, stay safe out there, and we got your 6.
Thanks for listening. Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Discrimination will never be tolerated.
Cannot wait to have another great show with you all.
Don't forget, you can find us on Apple, Amazon, Spotify,
or wherever you get your favorite podcast. Stay safe out there. We got your 6.